G'day everybody, working on the little auger today. So, got an issue with the engine. It's a Honda GX340 petrol engine. When you fire it up, you can't start it by the pull start. You can pull it as many times as you want, it won't fire. Give it a bit of aero start, fires up, no worries. But it dies straight away. And what I've found is it seems to be running really strong and then it kicks this lever here and turns off. And what I think might be happening is, here is the oil level sensor. Here's another part of the wiring for that. Here's the on-off switch, which has no wires coming out of it because it got eaten by cockatoos. I've got a feeling that this is also a part of it. The little, I'm not sure what that is. It's a part of it though. I don't know what you call it. If you know what that is, let me know in the comments. But that's also a part of the oil sensor system. But yeah, I think that's got something to do with it. So I think it's actually turning itself off because it's sensing that there is, well, nothing happening. So it thinks there's low oil. And I've got a feeling that might be our issue. So I'm going to fix the wiring on here. I've got a new one of those, new switch. Put all them on and have a little play around and see whether or not we can get it to run better than what it is, which is not running really at all. So to get this switch off, we're gonna have to take this front cover off to replace that, and then yeah, it's just a matter of putting a new one of those on and then just tidying up the wires and joining it all back up to each other. So I'll get this cover off, which is just a bunch of 10mm bolts that go right around it. And then we'll have a look at what goes on inside. Okie dokie, we got this tin cover off with the pull start. So here's the switch here on the outside. And as you can see, it just sort of pushes into the tin cover. There's this little tab here that folds over as well, which I think it helps it's actual earth too. So you got to fold that over, it's like brass or something. So we'll just give that a tap out and hopefully should be able to just push the new one in and fold the little tab over and it should be all sweet. Alright, so that's in there. Now hopefully that doesn't need to be super clean to earth because I didn't clean it. So maybe if you're replacing it, give that a good clean so it gets a good contact for earth. You can always pull it out if it turns out that's the issue. Anyway, switch is on, so we can literally put this back on now. That's all it is. Literally just a few bolts, undoes, pulls off. I also took the end of the carby off as well, just so this would slip off nice and easily. So here's the engine without its cover on. I also found that the choke lever is broken. So this actually just pulls straight off. It's just a cheap Chinese one that I put on, I don't know, a few years ago. I think it was one of the first videos I did actually. So I'm gonna have to get another carby now, which is a pain because I want it to be fixed today. But if we just leave the choke like that, we should be able to fire it up anyway with a bit of aero start, and hopefully we can get around having that broken. So we'll get this cover back on and then we'll focus on the other oil sensor wiring. Okay, now we'll replace this here. It's just a 10mm bolt. Easy as that. Now we're gonna have to trim up this wire here. Hopefully it's not completely destroyed, and get some more wire out of there, and I'll have to do the same on this. Got to be careful on this one, she's looking pretty average. And the last thing I want to do is, yeah, run out of wire. Now this looks like it's just a screw-in sensor, but it's actually just like a, I don't really know how to explain it. This is a nut, it comes off, then there's a threaded bolt part where the wire actually goes through. So in the engine, in the crankcase itself, there's actually like a float mechanism, and that bolt and nut is just where the wiring comes through. So that's not actually a sensor itself, it's just where the wire is. So to get that float out, you have to pull the whole engine apart, which we don't want to do. So that's why we're going to try and save that bit of wire, to save having to pull the entire engine apart. So I'll tidy up this wiring, and then yeah, we'll join it all together and see if we can get it to run. Alright, so let's see if we can tie these wires up without destroying anything. Cut this stuff. That's pretty tight, so we're gonna have to be careful about that. That doesn't break the wiring. Alright, it's all sort of wired up. As you can see, this one here is pretty tight because of how little wire I have coming out of there, so it's not ideal. I'll just have to be careful with it. I might even just spin that around to give it a little bit of slack. But yeah, that should be wired up correctly, I'm pretty sure. So hopefully that earths out alright, or that might not, yeah, work correctly. So we'll give it a go, see what it does. So as you see there, and oil level is low, engine immediately stops, which is the problem I'm having. So hoping that once this is all, yeah, now that this is all back together, it might work. So we'll get some aero start, fire it up and see if it runs.
gonna be one of those painful ones that keeps us straight. That's what it was doing before, just cuts off immediately. So we'll check the oil as well, just in case.
Rightio, so we have to do a bit more research. Still can't work out why it's turning off. Oil is full. The switch is now working, so it does turn off when it's turned off, and so it's not the oil sensor as I thought it was. Mucked around with that broken choke, doesn't seem to be affecting it. Just weird. It runs for a little bit, then it just dies. So down here at the back of the engine, there's this lever here. And once it turns, when it flicks that and turns it off, which shuts the intake throttle valve. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some more research. If anybody knows what that lever does, let me know, because that is what's causing it to turn off. Back again. So it's been a week since we last looked at this little engine. Now I've been and bought another carby for it, so to sort that broken, what do you call it? Freaking choke, the broken choke lever. So I'm going to quickly chuck that on, and then I might have also found, I did a little bit more research and found out what that lever works inside the engine, so it's a governor. And I'm going to see if I can adjust that and see if it's out of adjustment. But I'll show you that once I've done the carby, and hopefully that does it. I don't know why it would be out of adjustment, but we'll just have a little experiment, see if that does it. And if that doesn't do it, I don't know what the hell it's going to be. We have to do some more research. So we'll try this carby on and have a look at that governor after. Rightio, so I've chucked the carby on there. Now I'm going to have a play around this governor. So I'll show you sort of what I understand is the way to adjust it. So we have the throttle in, yeah, as high as it'll go, so all the way forward. Then we need to come down here and then undo the clamp nut around the top of the governor shaft there and turn the governor shaft with a pair of pointy-nose pliers anti-clockwise all the way around it. So then this should all be where it needs to be. But I'll put a link to the video that I watched on it. It's like a 40-second Honda video that shows how you adjust it. But we'll give that a go and see what it does. Oh, I don't know how well you can see the adjustment that I just did. It's pretty hard to see under there. But I'll put a link to that video where you can actually see it. So all I done was just turn it anti-clockwise, but took out the tiniest little bit of play, because now this throttle linkage down with the carb is doesn't go all the way. You could get it a little bit more further forward. So when this is at full throttle, you can pull this linkage here a little bit more forward, which controls the butterfly wing in there where my finger is. So yeah, it's done something. So now we'll start it up and see whether or not it's actually, yeah, solved the problem. Rightio, still having trouble getting this thing to bloody start. Pulled the spark plug out, it's pretty carboned up. Gap seems okay. I'll give it a clean and put it in, see if that helps, but I don't know what the hell's going on here. Rightio. Small Honda engine has got a diesel mechanic baffled. I cannot work out what the hell's going on here. It seemed to run okay then when I played with that linkage and I just like sort of held it back on itself without letting the throttle springs do it to the governor. New carby, it's got fuel. It's got spark. It's got air going into it. It's not blocked. It's got to be something to do with that governor. I can't work it out. I've adjusted the governor. I even adjusted it the opposite way to see what it would do. It just doesn't let it fire at all. Doesn't work at all. So that's all right. Got the new carby on there. The only way you can get it to fire is with the aero start. I don't know. This is just sometimes it gets you baffled. So you have to do more research again. I think I might leave the video there, and I'll put the call out for some help. Anybody out there who's real good with Honda little petrol engines, let me know in the comments what you think it might be, because I'm starting to run out of ideas. Now, I don't know whether that governor's even meant to do anything. I thought the governor was more to do with if you had run an air compressor or a generator, which could like turn the revs down when it wasn't under load. Yeah, it might be the same on this as well, because it does have runs a hydraulic pump for the auger. But I always thought the pump just like pumped it, just circulated it through until you turned one of the taps to actually divert it up to the pump at the top of the auger. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. Cleaned that spark plug, put it back in, it didn't really make a difference. It still fires, but just won't stay on. Just that valve, that governor seems to kick itself shut or open, or just kicks itself and the engine turns off. So if anybody out there knows what I'm missing here or has any good ideas, let me know in the comments, because it's got me stumped. Anyway, we'll leave it there. I don't know if this video is going to be enjoyable watching an idiot struggle with a small Honda engine or not, but help a bloke out. So anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Alright.